This is grade 7, chapter 8, part 4, interpreting circle graphs. So it may be tricky to see on a cell phone, but it may be super tricky to see on a cell phone. So listen really closely. So a circle graph is a graph that represents data using sections of a circle. It's always a circle, hence the name circle graph. It's not tricky. A section or a sector is a section of a circle formed by two radii and the area of a circle connecting the radii. So what that means is this here, that's a sector. This here, that's a sector. This here, that's a sector. This is a sector. Each part of the circle graph is a sector, and that's basically what it is. So the category of data, for a circle graph, the category of data compared to the whole. So when we take this, we can see that pecan pie is 8%, and we know that the total percent is 100% in a circle graph. So the category is compared to the whole, and that's why we use a circle graph. It's not to compare to each other, it's compared to a whole. The circle is divided into sector. Each sector represents a specific percent of the whole, like pumpkin. Pumpkin represents 30%. The area of the sector is the same percent of the area of the circle. Oh, same percent of the area as the circle. So 30%, if the circle is 200, let's say centimeters as an area, if it's 30%, we know that it's times 0.3, so that would equal 60 centimeters. So that would 30% would equal the area of the percent of the area of the circle. The circle graphs are easy to use when there's not too many categories. If you have too many categories, it gets really, really tricky because it just looks like you can't really compare them at all. If the percents are too close in value, it's also hard to see the differences in the section. So it's really good to compare data to the whole, but not great to compare it to each other, really, if it's too close. So to give you an example of this, school is, this is how much of a day, so this would be marked wrong because there's no title, but the title up here should read what percentage of how a student spends their day. So they spend 6 hours sleeping. So when we do that, 6 hours, when we take the 25% right here, sleep is 25%, so 25% moved to a decimal is 0.25, and we take that over 24 hours, so we times that 24 hours. 24 times 0.25 equals 6 hours, so we know that sleep takes up 6 hours a day. Play is 12.5. 12.5 times 24 equals 3 hours. And of course, school, 37.5 hours, is 24 hours is 9 hours a day. That's a lot of school. 6 hours of homework, because it's 25%. This kid has a terrible, terrible life. 15 hours in school every day with doing schoolwork. So again, 25% of 24 hours is 6 hours. And you can see on the graph how a quarter of it here, that part is half of the graph, or a quarter of the graph, sorry. The homework for 8.4 is pages 290 to 291, questions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Don't do 6, C, or D. Thanks. If you have any questions, come see me.